Hello viewers, today I will be taking below topics. First I will start with ledger, second topic will be posting, and after that balancing of an account. And the objective of this lesson is, after going through this lesson you will be able to understand the meaning of ledger. Each and every journal entry has to be posted into a particular ledger account. At this point concept of ledger is important. Second, you will be able to learn the rules regarding posting because there are certain rules which we have to follow at the time of posting. And third, you will be able to know how to balance an account because at the time of closing a particular account, it is important to know the concept of balancing an account. So let's start. Our first topic is ledger. Ledger is a principal book of accounts where similar transactions relating to a particular person, property, or revenue or expenses are recorded. Here it means that if a cash account is prepared, so every transaction is related to cash, whether it is a receipt of cash or the payment of cash, it has to be recorded in that particular cash account. Next point is, it contains all accounts of the business enterprise, whether real, nominal, or personal. So any account, whether it is a real account, personal account, or nominal account, it is prepared under a ledger account. Third point is, the main function of a ledger is to classify or sort out all the items appearing in the journal or other subsidiary books, so that at the end of the accounting period, each account will contain the entire information of all the transactions relating to it in a summarized form. And the fourth point is, ledger may be kept in any of the following two forms. First is a bound ledger and the second is the loose leaf ledger. And these days, it is common to keep the ledger in the form of the loose leaf card instead of keeping them in the bounded form because loose leaf ledger helps in posting the transactions when mechanized system of accounting is used, and nowadays mechanized system of accounting is preferred instead of manual system of accounting. So now I will show you the specimen of a ledger account. This is a format of a ledger account. The ledger account is divided into two sides. The left hand side is known as the debit side while the right hand side is known as the credit side, and the abbreviations DR, that is debit, and CR, that is credit, are placed at the top of the left hand side and the right hand side corners respectively, and the name of the account is written in the top middle of the account, and here JF denotes journal folio or the page number on which its journal entry has been recorded. Now I will tell you the difference between journal and ledger. Journal is the book of first or the original entry, while the ledger is the book of second entry. The transactions are first recorded in the books of journal and after that they are posted into the ledger account. And the second difference is, journal is the book of chronological record while the ledger is the book of analytical record, because in the books of journal transactions are recorded date wise and after that the transactions are posted into the ledger account for the purpose of analysis. And the third difference is, the process of recording transactions in journal is termed as journalizing, while the process of recording transactions in the ledger is known as posting. Let's move on to our next concept for today, that is posting. What do you mean by posting? The term posting means transferring the debit and the credit items from the journal to their respective accounts in the ledger. Here it is important to note that the exact name of the account which is used in the journal should be carried to the ledger. Now I will tell you the rules regarding posting. The first rule is, the concerned account which has been debited in the journal should also be debited in the ledger, and account which has been credited in the journal should also be credited in the ledger. Let's understand this with the help of an example. Purchased goods for cash rupees 5,000. Here cash account has been credited in journal, it will be credited in the ledger also, but reference will be given of the purchase account in the ledger. Don't worry, I will explain you the meaning of this line step by step. Let's record the journal entry for this transaction. In journal, purchase account is debited and cash account is credited. So how will we record this transaction in ledger account? Let's see. In ledger account, two accounts will be opened. First is purchase account and second is cash account. Since purchase account has been debited in journal, it will also be debited in ledger. Similarly, cash account has been credited in journal, therefore it will also be credited in ledger, but reference will be given of another account. Thus the account will appear as follows in the ledger. When we prepare a purchase account, as purchase account is debited in journal, it will also be debited in ledger account, but it will be written as to cash account. We cannot write purchase account under a purchase account, so we have to write a cash account. We have to give the reference of another account. So under purchase account we have to debit the purchase account, but we have to write it as to cash account rupees 5,000. Now I will show you how to prepare a cash account. As cash account was credited under journal, similarly cash account will also be credited under a ledger account, but the reference of another account will be given as that is of purchase account. So under cash account, purchase account will be credited with rupees 5,000. So one thing you have to keep in mind that when we prepare a ledger of any particular account, we cannot give a reference of that particular account. For example, if we prepare a cash account, we cannot give the reference of cash account under cash account. We have to give the reference of another account involved in that particular transaction. Let's have a look on another rule for the posting. It is customary or mandatory to use the word to and by while making posting in the ledger. The word to is used with the account shown on the debit side of the ledger account, while the word by is used with the account which appear on the credit side of the ledger account. If you consider the previous example where under purchase account the posting is done on the debit side column, the word to was used. Similarly, under cash account, the posting is done on the credit side column, the word by is used. So what you have to keep in mind is when any transaction is posted under debit side column of the ledger account, the word to will be used, and when any transaction is posted under the credit side of the ledger account, the word by will be used. Now let's move on to our last concept for today, which is balancing ledger account. Balancing of an account means process of equalizing the two sides of an account by putting the difference on the side where the amount is short. For this purpose, you have to make the total of both the side and check. If the debit side is greater than credit side, then the difference amount has to be written on the credit side and the balance will be known as a debit balance. And if the credit side is greater than the debit side, then the difference amount will be written on the debit side column and it will be known as a credit balance. Here it is important to note that you have to find out the nature of the balance, whether it is a debit balance or credit balance, on the basis of which side is greater. If the debit side is greater, then it will be a debit balance, and if the credit side is greater, then it will be a credit balance. Now apply the following step for balancing the account. First, do the total of the amounts of both the side, that is debit side and the credit side of the account. After that, if the debit side and the credit side are equal, then there is no balance. The account stands automatically balanced or closed. If the debit side total is more, put the difference on the credit side amount column by writing the word by balance CD. CD is the abbreviation used for carried down. If the credit side total is more, put the difference on the debit side amount column by writing the word to balance CD. After putting the difference in the appropriate side of the account, add both the side of the account and draw the thin line above and below the total. Step is, once the account is closed and the balancing was done, and when we reopen the particular account, we have to bring down the balance, whether it is a debit balance or credit balance. And if it is a debit balance, we have to brought down the debit balance on the debit side by writing the word to balance brought down. BD is an abbreviation for brought down. Similarly, if it is a credit balance, then we have to bring down the credit balance on the credit side by writing the word by balance brought down. We are done with our today's session. If you have any query, then feel free to comment in a comment section below. If you considered my video useful, then please do subscribe my channel and share as maximum. Do stay tuned for my next video. Until then, goodbye, take care, thanks for watching.